game thrive through lush green and high grass.
Just spoke to one of the visitors. He seems to be quite well connected to another car because they were communicating via radio, and the message was that wild dogs have been seen at campsite 15. So the chase is now on to find campsite 15. I know where 14 is, but let's see what I can come up with.
The vegetation at the end of the rainy season makes the spotting of game, in particular birds and small animals, extremely challenging.
And that's how it goes. There were some staff members here at the shower, and they just pointed out that the wild dogs have moved towards the river. So again now, let's go to the river and see what's going on.
I was really lucky to spot part of the pride of wild dogs. However, the pleasure didn't last long as they were about to move on. Large herds of impalas were to be seen in many places. No wonder that the wild dogs were so active. Impalas are the preferred prey animal of the wild dogs. They can also take down large animals, but impalas are easier for them to catch. The large impala herds consisted largely of females and immature rams. Mostly, however, a dominant mature ram was in control of the herd. The zebras didn't mind to be surrounded by a bunch of impalas. It all comes down to more eyes providing more protection from lions. Apart from elephants, giraffe are another species with very unique appearance. The long neck makes them standing out from other animals. They are browsers. Feeding on thorn trees doesn't seem to cause any pain to their tongue. They have a long tongue, which they use to wrap around a twig and strip off the leaves. Elephant bulls were visible in the area all day long. Large family groups of elephants were rather rare, but when one was spotted, it consisted easy of more than 30 animals. These groups are led by an old, experienced cow. They are very protective of their young and keep deep in the bush, where at the time of my visit, there was still good grazing and water available. Elephants are mixed feeders. They eat grass as well as leaves from bushes and trees. I saw a number of small groups of Waterbuck cows, some with and some without the company of a bull. A magnificent elephant bull with perfectly intact tusks. Like many other bulls, it stood at the water's edge and was feeding on juicy grass. It took some care in washing the mud off the roots before putting it into its mouth. Not only bulls were enjoying the juicy grass at the water's edge. Family groups also indulged in it. The water also provided an excellent opportunity to take a full body bath. This was then followed by powdering some dust over the clean skin. This way, elephants protect themselves against parasites. Hippos dominated the water pools, which were deep enough to allow them to lie submerged in the water. However, when large groups of elephants arrived, they had to move aside. Elephants are aware of their size and strength and don't hold back. All family groups which I saw were constantly on the move. The open-billed stork is rather unique. It cannot close its beak. However, However, this unique feature allows it to expertly crack the shells of water snails, mussels, and crabs. Finally, in the afternoon, I managed to find the hideout of a pride of lions. They had killed a sable antelope and feasted on it most of the morning. There was no other vehicle around, but the space was so cramped and full of bush and branches that I even damaged the reflector on my vehicle by maneuvering forward and backward just to get close enough for some filming. The lion still guarded what was left of the carcass, while the lionesses and a few cubs were mostly sleeping and digesting. Occasionally a cub got up and tried to suckle on its mother. After all, nothing is more boring than filming a sleeping pride of lion. A visit to the seasonal pool presented a changed scenario. The hippos of a few days ago had disappeared. As the pond was not too far away from the river, they must have most likely moved there overnight. The lone yellow-billed stork got some company. Now there was a flock of 14 birds. One of the storks was an immature bird which had not yet developed the full plumage of the adult bird. The Egyptian geese are known for mating for life. Although native to sub-Saharan Africa, the species was widely depicted in ancient Egyptian art and was considered sacred by the Egyptians. The double-banded sand grouse is mostly found in pairs during late afternoon. During the day, they rest in the shade. It is most likely that these birds also mate for life. When flying at dusk to the water, they become quite gregarious with flocks of hundreds of birds. A typical scene near the MAGOTHO camping grounds. Elephant bulls feeding at the water's edge. They are used to cars driving past and don't show any aggression. My household might be rather small, but nevertheless some housekeeping and washing of the dishes will have to be done.